you know a lot about the Legion spell since you've done the pre-selection with the 2 offensive, 2 defensive ones. What do you
Yeah.
think about that set, and what would be your favorite?
Out of these 3 spells here, I mean, I think everyone knows that Pulverizer is a weak, or is that Titan? Excuse me, that's Titan.
That's Titan.
Well, Titan's insanely very strong spell. Probably just if I'm like picking one blindly, Titan's the best. But I mean, obviously, if you can pull off a Venture, right? Venture's one of the strongest spells in the game. But that's
Yep.
only if you have the tools to pull it off. So,
Yes.
but we already see 2 Nightmares here, right? So I mean, Villain Nightmare is really good. So I think any of these are possible.
It's so funny to be here with you now because I think you're the biggest supporter of villain I've ever seen. Like I know your villain Tempest boosting plays and all that.
Yeah.
So I totally hate villain for the.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Villain is OP or by any means, but I do think again with Doppelganger, it's at least good, right? If not strong, like so.
I would agree on that.
So,
Doppelganger is just a perfect unit for a lot of spells.
Yeah. We have what was that a double Atom start? So actually,
Yes.
Julian he didn't want to risk it, so he's at 5 workers now, but starting with 2 atoms.
He didn't want to risk it in the first game, and it paid off perfectly for him. He did it again, and I think this is just the way like you should start with atoms. Like I know the risky one, but personally I only do the safe one because it's a little bit the chance is so small in LIHL to get a snail in wave 1. It's maybe like 10%, but if it's hitting you with a snail, you're out of the early game pretty much.
Do you think Magic and Adamas both go 5 workers here? Okay, Adamas, they both did. Okay, that answers that.
Oh, Magic did as well. He was on the other team. I was just looking at Widdowson. So yeah, they will.
So Magic's gonna what? Probably use 2 gargoyles to clear.
I'm not sure.
And then Adamas will use.
He can't.
He's gonna try to use a Devilfish, or he can't even afford it.
He can't. Yeah, that's the thing. He has to either Vark, or he has to go for like the full polys. He's gonna.
He got Ascend already, right?
Yeah, he's gonna get double snail, I think.
Oh, he should be fine because Julian did a king up on 1, I believe.
Yeah, but there could be still double snail with the Vark he's leaking here, as far as I know. That should be a league if the doubles. Oh, there's no double snail. That might actually be a hold for him. That's.
This should be a clear, yeah.
Yeah, and
the Nightmare is thinking a little more than he wants, but actually this is a leak then.
On the other side, I think Magic might leak the Lizard, with the Lizard already killing the Nightmare pretty fast. The first Gargoyle on the split died. I think this is a Lizard league, maybe 1 or 2 hoppers on top. Something like that. It's only Lizard.
I don't think Adamas is. Yeah, Adamas his Nightmare tanked because of the snail send. So it tanked definitely more than he wanted. I was watching that lane.
Yeah, that was awful for him. But I think he's having one of the best early game roles you want to have. So a Varg really tanky on waves 5 and 6, where your next pressure point is probably gonna be. The Butcher is gonna help out there quite good, and the Batcher is just perfect for waves 7 and 8.
Yeah, on one hand, Adamas got slightly unlucky. Maybe you could argue that his Nightmare tank there, or I don't. Maybe that's not really unlucky. It's more the snail. But on the other hand, I think Adamas is quite happy. Right, he didn't get 2 snails on 3, so he didn't really leak that much, and he's set up for success like on wave 4. Like he's at no risk here, and then the work then help him on waves 5 and 6 as well. So
exactly, and it's really interesting to see Magic pushing on 7 workers because he's not looking like having the best setup for wave 5. I'm really interested how.
Yeah, what does he have? Grarl? I mean, Grarl's not that good either. The stats on Grarl are pretty weak.
Exactly, especially after the recent nerfs, he got -2 attack damage. So it's gonna be a hard thing for him to hold wave 5, especially with a big send coming.
I'm a bit surprised Adamas added like Polywogs at all. Like I don't think he was even leakable there. To maybe a brute, maybe a brute. I'm not sure.
Yeah, probably a brute would have done it, but I think it's better to play the mind game and not show a unit there.
Yeah, I'd rather not show and then also prepare for 5. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so heavy to have Polybox, even though their stats are nerfed to the ground, but it's still one of the best units to make a decent split, as we see it here. Like the units are gonna path that way, and it's just giving him a lot of time.
Okay, so Magic, I think, is the most likely to leak here, right? Getting a Dino.
And he's not sending.
He's got the
as a captain.
Growl. He does have, so he has some magic damage, and he's got the Growl, the tank. But I mean, that thing probably will drop pretty fast.
Look at Magic himself. He is saving here with 7 workers. So Widdowson already showing 3 Windhawks. So he's not gonna send on 6 for sure. So this is once again going to be a 7 or 8 send, as we saw in the first 2 games of Yonka Mayonka. This is gonna be a really big send there once again, and those are one of the biggest threats in the early game because of their magic damage. Ooh,
so here's the leak here. Yeah. I actually think, like, okay, if Adamas and Witterson are communicating, right? Witterson should say he's being saved on, and maybe he's expecting a 7 send. So actually, I think Adamas and Witterson could consider a 6 send here.
Yes.
But I mean, like, maybe they don't love 6, but just given the game state of, like, hey, Magic's probably going to be undervalued saving so long, and he doesn't want to send here on 6, so he could be vulnerable. Oh, he's actually sending 6.
The thing is, on top, that even if Adamas and Witterson are joining 6, which Adamas at least does, Bandasport is really strong there. He's having a lot of good setup for 6. The atoms are really strong there. He's having the Infiltrator, which is a powerhouse on wave 6 as well, so I don't see him leaking at least.
Yeah, I didn't see him leaking. It was more like maybe if Magic didn't send here, maybe he leaks hard, and then maybe you get to the king, but I don't know. Atoms are kind of OP at catching, right? So
yeah, I feel that. Let's see, Magic still keeping his Growl. He's adding the split with the Devilfish right there. I think he should be the one holding. Devilfish is quite powerful in the split.
So Witterson's just got a 140 send.
Yeah, but he's
triple Dragon Turtle, so
with a Violet. I think he should be holding that.
He should be okay.
And having a look at Adamas though, he's not looking healthy at all. So he's probably gonna leak at least 2 Roccos, maybe even 3. It looks more like 3 of them. But is that enough to really?
Close. I think he leaks 2. Yeah.
But is that really enough? Look at that. We see the king damage coming against Yonka Mayonka. I think this is actually a pretty good trade for the Banana Boys.
Yeah. I mean, getting any sort of king damage is nice, right? And this is kind of why I wanted to send on 6, right? You just, like, you know, you don't think you think he's pretty good there with the atoms and the infiltrator, but then, you know, it's all mind games, right? So
yes,
he might be preparing for 7, right?
Now Adamas, he leaked quite often already. He was leaking on 3, he was leaking on 5, and now on 6 once again. And you can see that in the workers. He's 2 workers behind already. And you don't really want to beat that in a high-low matchup.
Yeah. 750 value, and he just got a send. He's actually, I think he's just worried about chain leaking. He's actually probably hoping for a send here, but he's not getting one.
I'm pretty sure he's hoping, but the doppelganger, the second one he just added, is quite good on 8 as well. He's just gonna have a huge problem on 9, I think.
Yeah.
So far, I see no unit, which is gonna help him there. So it's gonna be really tough to hold.
Yeah, Julian sending on 8 here. So I think, let's see, what is Adamas going to do? Yeah, unfortunately, like, it's too late to get the Badger out at this point. That would have been for 7.
I actually
think he's Alpha Male, maybe?
Alpha Male. Yeah, I think he's going to do the Alpha Male.
The problem with it is that when he makes it a head chef, though, or doppelganger, it's going to be debuffed with his positioning. But
well, the thing is,
he might just do it anyway.
The lower one upgrading to an Alpha Male, and the upper one going to a Lioness. I'm not sure though. Like, at least
that kind of sucks though, right? The Alpha Male's tanky.
Yeah, exactly. But you want the Lioness to have the spell vamp and the lifesteal from the Butcher's Aura.
But either way, when the bottom Nightmare becomes a doppelganger, it debuffs either of the wargs, and if those are Alpha Males.
Look,
he's actually going for the Badger. Okay.
And you know what the best part about this is? It's either gonna be a huge wave 9 league on Yonka Mayonka, or it's gonna be a huge wave 8 league, because they're splitting up their sends. So Yonka Mayonka trying their luck now, while Adamas and Witterson, they're still saving. We already see Witterson 200 Mythium. He's gonna be at like 280, around that I would say, maybe even 300 at the beginning of the next wave. It's gonna be a
Yeah,
lot.
so I think it's just gonna be a trade. Like it's gonna be leaks here and then leaks on 9 the other side, right? Magic is pretty awful on 9. He's gonna try to king claw, I guess, but I don't know
Yeah.
if that saves him.
No, not at all. And Julian's not looking too good there as well. I think his best option might be to boost an Orchid and have this massive amount of single target damage.
So actually, yeah, Adamas is clearing here.
Yes.
So now he's
Also,
gonna pump the workers.
Nightmares with Butcher are really strong if you have a decent tank, which he absolutely had. So she's doing quite a good job. And it's all about the reasons on 9, because this is not too much king. It might be like 20, no, it's less actually. It might be like 10, 15%.
Witterson's probably gonna sends an ogre maybe. He's got 260. I mean, he could even send like a centaur or something too.
Centaur would be
but-
best. I think, yeah, he should get the Centaur. He's gonna Centaur him, I hope at least. Either Centaur or maybe even Ghost. Oh no, Ghost Knight, you can't Ghost Knight against the Orchid. Yeah, it should be Centaur. And then add a Snail to protect from the Shurikens.
It's a centaur and then Adamas with the ogre. Yeah.
Yeah, that is actually amazing
I'm a little
sense.
surprised by the ogre on Adamas though, because like if you look at Magic's units, right, he's got 2 nightmares and you know that's gonna be a king claw, right? The ogre's not that good.
But should I tell you why the Ogre is perfect here? Because he's having higher split, which means the Ogre is gonna run into the split and he's just gonna smash all the units there because of the attack, which is gonna reset by killing a unit, and all the small ones besides the Devilfish should be 1 hits. So the Ogre is gonna work through the split into the main wave.
Sure. Yeah, I'm curious. I'm curious about how ogre versus like a 4 eyes would do here. I think either could work.
Well, but the thing is with Ogre, he got the income. I think this was like the main.
Oh right, he didn't have 4 eyes income. That's true. Yeah. I think you
Ogre.
Yeah.
I really like the Ogre. And the first Nightmare already down. I think the second one is. Oh no, there it is. Just didn't see it for a second. And look at the Centaur. He cleaved really good through the build of Bendersbrot, and this is massive leaks coming out.
Yep. We did, so they knew it was coming, so they pumped king upgrades, both of them. So that's, yeah, just I feel like, typing wise, ogre just seems so bad into that sense.
Yeah, but
I'll trust you if you think it's good, but yeah.
Yes. The build must just made it good. Obviously, a 4 would have been better, but in that situation, you just want to have, how much is ogre? 50 income? 60? No, 4A is 60, right? So ogre has to be 50. So in that case,
50, it's 50.
I think you want to have those 50 gold on top. You can just.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely agree with sending before income. I think you have to take that gold.
Well,
it's more just like we had 220. Yeah, I mean, because Drake is not that good. So
if not you, who would comment on that pre-income sending?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm a firm believer in that. Unless you're gonna you're gonna make it up by sending the right thing, like. You know what I mean? Like, oh, the Ghost Knight here just absolutely slams him. Then you just got to take the income.
Yeah, it's just you're playing against Jules when you're receiving 4 Cannoneers on 15 instead of a Shaman.
Yeah, playing for that late game, always scaling.
Never stop. All right, but
okay, so let's see spell predictions here. So no sends on 10, which is basically
because of
venture. No one wants to allow the other team to venture, right?
So Adamas can't afford to venture here at all with this setup. Yeah. I think Witherson actually could. He's having a really strong setup for 11 especially. 12 he's like decent. But I think with a venture he might be on too low value.
One venture.
Okay, never mind. But on the others, I really don't see Magic as well. I think they are probably gonna have a Titan. Like Magic probably with a Titan.
I imagine that we're gonna see some wave 12 sends from Julian and Magic, right? Because they're gonna see that Adamas and Witterson didn't take any spell.
Adamas adventure here.
Yeah,
what?
Three ventures.
Dude, he's so risky. Look at this. He did not receive a send last wave. He's bad on that wave, and he's risking the venture. That's high risk, high reward. So if he's
I think we're gonna see a lot of 12 sends, right? Because there's only one spell that's showing, which is Villain. So
yes. And I think Magic already re-rolled. He tried to hit the Butcher, but he only got Gate Disciple, which is like super late game units for him. But he won't be able to protect his double on 14 with that. On 12, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Adamas, what? He probably needs to get out like an alpha male in front on here on 12, which he will be able to do.
I think he might go for the double, actually. I think he needs the damage.
You think that's better?
Yes, I do though. I do think so. It's hard to tell though, but the alpha male is just a pure tank and it's not gonna deal as much damage as a doppelganger. And with the little bit of buff he has here, it should work out,
Sure.
especially with the higher split on the right, which will lead the main wave there and leave like 40%.
Oh, he already has one alpha male. I missed that before, so
Yeah,
he has
yeah.
some take, but
Yes. Otherwise, Magic is really lacking tanks so far, I think. Whereas Julian has quite a lot of tanks, but he's missing the pierce damage. So it's a really interesting wave to see the sense on.
Magic is both the highest value and the only one with a defensive Legion spell. So either he's the smallest brain or the biggest brain because he's clearing here and holding the only one clearing.
4 is the perfect send though against him. So he's only having big units that will get shut down really, really fast against it. But it looks like a hold for him because of the massive value he has. Here, as you see it, the doppelganger doing quite good with the butcher.
Yeah, I know it did well. Yeah.
There's
So this seems really good for the East team, right?
Pretty good so far.
Yeah.
They won another trade. And we know it. There's 2 doppelgangers in the game, two doppelganger players, so it's pretty sure gonna be 15 right now. Yeah, I think so. Widdowson not having the best setup for 15 as well. He did only show this 1 PV, so he shows his arcane defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of has to be because afterwards Adam is just going to be massive on 16 with this setup. Widdowson now showing the Asura, which is great on 16 as well, and 14 is just a little bit too close for the amount of workers they're having.
Yeah. I mean, look at the worker count. 24 versus 19. Yes. Just the power of Venture.
They're ahead now. Even though Julian had Venture as well, the league he just had, that kind of cost him the extra workers that are now on Adams and Widdowson because of the Venture. So
Magic's going for a late game Starcaller and Gates build here.
It is bad with his setup though, because he's choosing the poly split, and now the wave will run into the gates he actually wants to protect, so he might have to figure something out there, maybe get rid of the split.
I think the problem with this is like I feel like he's got 2 different carry units and not enough tanks, right? He's got Gates and he's got Doppelganger, and both kind of want tanks in front, and he only has 1 King Claw.
Yes, exactly. Oh, look at that. There's the Hades coming out on top of the Orchid. So Bandaspor is already preparing 100% for 15.
He knows. Yeah, that's smart.
It's kind of an all-in play with that though, because he's not going to be great on 16. He's not going to be great on 17 with this setup. So if they're not going to deal a lot of damage on 15, they're really far behind like that.
Yeah. Magic's considered the Starcaller. He built it and then he unbuilt it and decided to go for the gate. I think he knew he had to do something a little better for 15, and Starcaller is not very good there. Although gate is not that great either.
I'm just unsure as well. Yeah, is gate actually better than the Starcaller there because of the
on its own maybe, right? But
yeah, I think it's preference like that. But I'm not. Maybe the Starcaller is actually a little bit better to shut down tanks that are a good send against the doppels at least. But let's see the Kraken already coming out for Widdowson. It's gonna harm Magic. It's not. It's gonna harm Bandasport a lot with his Orchid boosts running into that Kraken, not dealing a lot of damage. It's just a perfect send he could do, especially pre-income.
Yeah, Kraken's so good for absorbing the Shuriken magic damage. So we've got the Ocean Templar actually coming at her for magic. Nope, he's undoing it.
It's really weak. I think you should know more about the stats. Is Ocean Templar actually as weak as I think it is?
So I think it's actually not as weak as people think it is, but I do think it's a little bit. It feels like it's like good with canopies early on or like mid game, and then it kind of doesn't have that much use. And I've been wanting to kind of rework the unit in some way, but I'm still thinking the best way to do it.
Yes,
But I
Personally,
have done tests where Ocean Templar, like people said it was weak, and then I would test it, and it just did way better than I thought,
okay.
and it doesn't have really that bad of a win rate or anything. So
I think the biggest part about this is that personally I feel like Canopies and Ocean Temple are both bad, so it's not really an option to try that out for me right now. But what do we see here? We see Bantasport and Magic both leaking their sends, even with the big builds against 15. That is game over. It's not gonna be a race. They're gonna die a little bit early because of the imps. Adamas had spawned, and this is GG, game number 1 for the Banana Boys.
I actually think if Magic went like mass Green Devils or something
Yeah.
on starting on 14 instead of Disciple, like that Disciple's useless, right?
Yes, I would agree. I would have actually put the Disciple and the Gates. Personally, I would have done Disciple and the Gates into Green Devils. It would have been massive value, not only tanking wise, but also good damage source. And I think it might have been the delaying factor that probably would have won them the race even. Oh, and at the opposite to last game, we now see very aggressive spells with the All Out of Assault as a contrast to the defensive or the greedy spell, more or less, Venture once again. I really like the selection this time.
Yeah, I think so. We've got the Guardian Angel for the defensive spell, All Out Assault for a highly offensive spell, and I think especially after the income nerf, I think it was last patch, you actually need to do something with this spell if you're taking it. I think if you just take it randomly, you get punished a little bit late game because of the income loss. So.
Yeah, it's a very good clutch spell, especially if you're already sending 1 or 2 waves on 11 either way, and then taking another 100 Mythium. It's just such a massive sense against the most builds you're really unlikely to hold.
Yeah, I think Venture's hard to take this game with All Out Assault. I mean, it's possible, but it's hard. Yeah.
I mean, we just saw Adamas going to Venture into a weak wave with undervalue, so maybe we're gonna see something like that again.
So actually, Adamas did get his bounty hunter, his angler. So actually, we started with. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at Witterson. Excuse me.
Oh, it was No, it was Julian, but I suppose he's going to start with the anglers.
Yeah.
Exactly, and one start, Basti is gonna love here the Pilgrim Wildshroom. Basti loves to play that one.
Yeah.
And one thing I'm really, really looking forward is seeing Magic with one of the best Nightmare rules you can have. You're having Nightmare Butcher, Phoenix for 15. You're going to have Dark Mage as a buff, and then the perfect tanks with an Arcane tank, the Gargoyle, and one of probably the biggest tank in the game with the Mudman. So it's a really good setup.
Yeah, so immediately at the start of the game, based on wave 1, I think Magic and Julian are going to be pretty happy. They both got snails here, so that's extra, 6 gold for them, and everyone's going to 5 workers here. But actually, the Wild Shroom Desert Pilgrim can't really go to 5 workers safely, even after getting a king up on wave 1. So that's kind of sucks. I think Witterson's in the worst spot here.
Yeah,
because he's right now he's adding a Wild Shroom. Like I actually think this is maybe, I don't know. Like I know he kind of committed to it with a Desert Pilgrim, but the problem is like he's building for wave 3 here with that, but then he doesn't really need to because he's not going to get a send on wave 3. He's just strong enough. He already got sent on wave 1, and then he's going to be fine on 3, and then he's going to be really weak 4. So
yes. So Adamas has some units Riddleson would love to have, especially with the Varg and the Windhawk probably.
Yep.
But I love Adamas having the perfect Varg rule. I'm probably one of the players loving Vargs the most, especially with the perfect setup would consist out of either Wild Shroom or Nikomata as an arcane tank, then Varg, and then probably the Windhawk, in the best case even Steeds on top. This is just an amazing role and it's going to win you games. And then if you're having the Steeds, the Serpents on top, this is just an amazing role. And now Adamas being lucky and even having probably the most powerful tier 1 in the early game.
I'm a bit surprised by this snail set. Why did they each send 1 snail? They didn't need it for like a unit, right? They each had more than 6 gold left over. And they didn't add the second snail, so it's not like they were
They're
trying to
gonna
make them
go.
leak.
They're probably gonna go long. They're gonna go like big 5 or big 6, something like that. I think.
Right.
So this is more of a mind game where you don't want your opponents to see or to estimate how much mythium you're still having. That would be my guess at least.
Sure. It seems like a slight mistake to me, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I don't really like it too much as well. Like it is a little bit of feed because okay, it's probably not gonna be a brood or anything in income, and the income you get from the mercenaries, especially in the early game, is a really big step some people won't skip to do then a brood after income or anything equal to that.
You can see Witterson rerolled and he got rid of the Wild Shroom for a Warg. I was actually getting comments on this. If I were Witterson after getting that wave 1 send, I actually would have just rerolled immediately.
Yes. And now,
for something like a Warg.
And now taking the Assyria, I think he was already building quite far in front for an Assyria, but let's see how this is going to end up. Witterson is going to show us because he's the master of Assyria, so we will see how he does it. But he messed up with his Vark already. A lot of the
skill cap is just in the priestess start though, like later. Yeah, so there's Witterson was the fewest workers and he's leaking 4. I just knew based on that build and what happened, it was just
he's leaking on 4 because he messed up with the Vark. So in wave 4 you still want to have your Desert Pilgrim tanking a little bit, and therefore you have to put the Vark 1 square behind. So you have to the Wild Shroom has to tank a little bit and the Vark, and like that the Vark is going to take the aggro away from the Desert Pilgrim. The Desert Pilgrim is not going to tank anything, and it is going to be the last unit alive as we saw it now, and it's not able to 1bx the wave. That's exactly what happened with that build.
Thomas is the only one at 7 workers. That's the bright news for the East team.
Yes.
Although he's getting a resend here from Magic.
That's fine. That's fine. He's absolutely fine with that build. It's just, I mean, you talked about, you can share some information about opener win rate. How big is the Atom's opener win rate at the moment?
Atom's opening win rate is 53%.
It's quite high, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's high. Yeah, it's high, especially for how popular it is. There are higher win rate openings, but they're not as popular.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as somebody in high at the moment has Atoms, you're probably gonna see an Atom opener.
Yep.
That's what we're seeing here, and they're really insane if positioned right. So the tactic of positioning Atoms, like you see it here, is basically to split the units and the wave as much as possible. Yeah. Exactly.
It's just such good split focus, yeah. I mean, without that, it would leak. But
every unit here in super low life, this is as good as it can be. It's just perfect.
Yeah, this is basically going to be Adamas trying to carry Witterson this game. Just
but it is fine. The league is actually good for them. Look at the mythium they're having. It's 160 and one. I told you they're gonna long save and they're gonna do it. It's gonna be wave 6, and that's exactly why they snailed, because they wanted a little bit more income. And now they're gonna use it for good.
I mean, Adams probably need a nerf, and definitely going to be something that's considered next patch. I'm happy that they got a patch or 2 in the limelight. I feel like that unit's been weak for like a long time. For months, many months. So
yeah,
at least they're getting some play, and like now people know how to use them, and they can be nerfed a little bit, and maybe still be in a balanced state.
Yes, I think
Harden coming out from Julian.
That's a good
prediction from him.
On top of the Zeus, he knows it's gonna be 6. It's a really high risk they were going for though. Like if this was a 7, he would have been so dead on 7. Not saying that he's good here. He's looking awful here as well. And Magic.
These are some big. This has got to be some king damage here.
Shit. But how did they go for 7 workers like that? Did they really both push 7 workers after 3? It is, holy shit, that is a lot.
This is huge king damage here.
All they did right in the very first games today against King and Eggiker, they're now more or less doing bad, if you can say so. Obviously they're not playing bad, but they're just getting played out by so strategical sense, like the double snail on wave 3, pushing a little bit too much into 7 worker each. Is that game? That's game, right? that's
GG.
Wow, that was a fast one. That was
All right, we got to analyze some of the
yeah,
the
absolutely.
worker decisions here. I mean, to see what happens.
Look at Adamas' role. He's having Anglers, he's having Nikomata and Windhawk. It's probably gonna be an Angler. I hope.
Oh yeah, so we've got so Adamas has the angler, right? So what do you think? What do you expect him to start?
He's gonna go Angler, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And
With
then
what?
either he's gonna do Angler Serpent on 3 or Angler Nikomata. One of those. Angler Mask with a False Maiden is actually possible as well, but you're sacrificing some spells with it because you're letting the Angler die and having the False Maiden tank in the split.
So this game, I think we see definitely some ventures if we're looking at Legion spells, right? We have
I can
2
see that.
defensive spells and then the risk-taking economic spell. So venture is probably going to be pretty common in this game.
Yes, I think so as well. But to be honest, all those spells are really strong spells. I think all of them are probably used quite often.
Yep.
And
I think those are all really strong. Yeah.
There's really nothing you can do wrong with any of those spells. So there's good units for Titan, for example. Julian having the Fire Lord. We see Adamas probably having the Kingpin. A Lioness maybe on Witterson. There would be the same units would be great with Guardian Angel.
This is a leak here on Witterson. He's leaking. He got a snail. He was going for a Violet start.
Oh, and a greedy one as well with a Peewee.
Yeah.
And the Peewee is actually the worst tier 1 you can start with because it's 25 gold and it's bad in wave 1. So it's actually hitting him really,
because
really hard.
with Violet you often you want something a T1 that's good on wave 1 or 2 at least, right? You don't need anything that's good on wave 3 because you have the Violet out by then, and so Peewee should be the worst one. Yeah.
Yes, I actually am curious why he's not going 4 worker. After that send, he's not able to get the Windhawk. I think he should have pushed 4 workers immediately and then maybe try to play around 3 with a veteran maybe.
I think what does he do here? Because he doesn't get the Violet. Why is he staying on 3 workers? Is he gonna go Violet on wave 3?
Oh, now he's realizing. Oh, way too late.
Yeah, he realized it.
That's like 4 Mythium already lost. Not
Yep.
4, but it was like 3. Might be important though on one of the next waves.
So now I think Witterson's gonna have to make a decision here. Go to 5 workers now because he's getting a snail send on wave 2. So does he go to 5 workers or does he stick with going with? Well, actually, he can't go Violet, so he just gotta go to 5 workers.
Receiving from a Bone Crusher, so he knows he's at least 5 workers. He should do it. He should
go to 5 workers. Yeah. He should.
There's no way he's gonna get the Windhawk anyway.
Yeah.
So he should, and he's doing it. It's actually the perfect play. Nothing bad about that. And actually, look at that. Adamas might actually go for the Mask in the split, as I called it. I'm not sure if he's gonna do the False Maiden or the Serpent is another play. Exactly, doing the Serpent.
Yeah, I like Serpent a lot here.
Yeah.
Right, because Serpent perfect hits
Serpent
3,
well.
and then it's so good on wave 4.
I like the Serpent way more as well. It's an amazing play by him, and the Brood coming that should be. Oh no, I can't guarantee a hold here, especially with this snail probably in time. Yeah. All right, he's leaking now.
Although I would say if I'm Julian and I see Adamas' build, I'm definitely looking at like Brutes on wave 5.
Yeah.
Serpent is horrible on wave 5, and then Brutes can get through the Bounty Hunter pretty fast.
Oh, look at that. He's leaking bigger than I thought, like a lot bigger. Because the Brute is gonna be next target, right? Oh no, the wave turned around
No, the Brute
too
doesn't get
fast.
focused, yeah.
Damn it. But Magic, he just received another 40 cent after receiving 20 on 1. Magic can actually push to 7 workers at least, but he's not doing it. He's playing really safe. But with his setup, it would have been easy 7 workers. That would be.
I think he's
really
probably just afraid of a 4 resend with the Bone Crusher, right? Because he could get a Brute there.
Yeah, but
You think
triple aqua, just put two more bone warriors into the split, or maybe one behind the aquas should be actually pretty much fine.
So here come. Oh, Witterson sends, Magic sends. Adamas is actually saving. I guess Adamas is looking. Do you think he's going straight to 6 against the Aquas and Bone Crusher?
It's the best choice for sure, especially
I
after now
actually
seeing.
though, yeah. So I think he wants to go to 6, but the problem is that he's pretty scared on 5. I think. I actually think he's gonna income send on 5. You think he's gonna go to 6?
Let's see how the wave goes. If it's a long wave with leaks, he's probably forced to go
Yeah.
for the income send. Unless he might also choose for the second angler to become a bounty hunter. Then he's a lot
Yeah.
of good value, at least defensive.
Then he's actually screwed on 6, but
Yes. But let's see. I mean, the Zeus here is looking like a hold. So the wave is not too long. And the send against Adamas is not too big.
I think
It's only gonna
Adamas
be
has to
80.
send here. He's gonna leak so hard if he
Oh
doesn't
wait,
send.
Widdowson might leak. Oh, with that Widdowson slow hold, 100 Mythium on
I
the
wonder
line.
if Adamas can go Cannoneer here, maybe, or Brute. Maybe Brute. He's got to send, right?
He gotta. He has to, otherwise he's risking a leak. But that might be another play again, right? So
Yeah,
he
he
could
can actually-
sacrifice.
Yeah.
Especially with Widdowson still having the Infiltrator, which is a huge damage deal on wave 5 with the boost of the Hurricanes and then Shurikens.
I think if Adamas didn't send here, it's like a 100% leak, like almost on 5.
Oh yeah, probably something like that. It was close to kill the boss for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess with the partial gold now on the boss, it's not going to be 100% leak, but it's, well, with the send, it's pretty close probably. Okay, so the Cannoneer send I actually like, because if he had 120, I would have double brooded there, but with only, he had like 110 or so, I like Cannoneer because, he's got a Bone Crusher, he's got a bunch of arcane units. The Cannoneer is pretty good choice.
Yes,
It's not enough to
100%.
leak him, but yeah.
And especially on Bunter's Broad, he pushed Greedy to 8 workers, getting punished here. Quite good. So a good read on him overgreeding a little bit after receiving a send on 3 and on 4. And on the other side, is Widdowson leaking? No, he's super closely holding.
Worth noting is that Adamas is actually staying on 7 workers. So he's
Yes.
actually staying pretty low because I think he's worried about a resend on 6.
100%. And if it's not 6, then it's 7 for sure. So he's just, he has to stay a little bit on lower worker, as we mentioned in the pregame. And then he's gonna, he can really, really, really push a lot on waves 9, 10, 11, 12, and ongoing with the huge buff on the kingpins with the attack damage.
Yeah, so no sense here on 6 actually, which is pretty good for, Julian. I guess Adamas was trying to hope that he got a send here, and then pushed really hard starting 7 with his cats and his serpents, but Julian's not sending on 6, so Adamas still has to stay on 7 workers.
Yes,
for a
and
little
what
bit.
is really to mention as well is that Widdowson, he planned it at the beginning to have Violet on 2. Then he wanted to have a decent setup for the next waves, and then he wanted to Banana Bunk on 7 after shifting on 6 because of the Violet he had. But since he did not manage to get it with the Snail Sand on 1, he was now able to get the Violet, which is way too late. He's not able to shift gold, and he's not able to purchase a Banana Bunk to cover him 7 and
He's in
8.
trouble on 7, right? With these
Exactly.
units, he's got
8 as well.
He's got 2 wargs, infiltrator, and violet.
He's gonna have a tough time there. But they were thinking of the 6th send with Adamas staying on 7 workers and Widdowson going for the Violet.
So I think Adamas is going straight 9 here, right? He's saving, and he's
Yeah.
looking at Magic's build, and he has to be eyeing 9.
They have to, because
Yeah.
of Julian being bad there as well. It has to be 9.
So I think if there's a bunch of king damage here, then Julian and Magic are going to be happy. But if they can't get sizable king damage, then they should be pretty worried about 9.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you there. But at very first, I'm pretty sure Widdowson is gonna leak quite a lot. His Windhawk, the Violet is getting 2 boosts, 2 spells out. Maybe a third one is getting only partially attacked. It's pretty good. Oh yeah, 3 spells is massive. It's actually massive. Look at the Violet. It's still alive. It's
Yeah.
getting perfectly protected.
Wow,
having
that's
so much luck.
incredible. A little luck and some good positioning.
And even Adamus, look at
goal.
Adamus. He had quite a good clear as well.
Actually, I think if you're wow, Witterson's holding. Really good job by him. That's
Wow, it was
Did he
amazing.
boost a
from both of
veteran?
them. Yeah, he did.
What did he
the
do?
one in
Did-
split. He had it boosted.
Wait, I think this is really good for Witterson and Adamus.
They're in a really good spot now.
And-
Adam's almost holding as well, and the low life units not just dying against simulation at the king.
I actually think that's definitely like it's some careful planning, right? Like, maybe they're thinking about going 9. Like maybe they're communicating this to each other, and they're like, Adamus is like, well, in that case, I'm gonna say 7 workers here, but now our save is so big, like we can send huge on 9. So
Yeah, and with a look at Magic, who's gonna receive this big send on 9, it might be a Ghost Knight in income. It's gonna be massive for sure. It could be an Ogre. Would be a lot of fun to see as well. So all those big units are going to be a lot of fun beside a 4A maybe. But the rest is gonna harm him really.
Julian is predicting the 9 cents, so good job by him. Magic is not though. Magic actually built a Rogue Wave here. Well, he built a Rogue Wave and he built a Bazooka, but the Rogue Wave is definitely a Wave 8 predict. So
Wait, didn't he build the Rogue Wave last and now the Decoiler? I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure the Decoiler he had on 7, and he just built the Rogue Wave here on 6, on 8.
Well, that's likely. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't see it. But now the send is coming out. It's an Ogre for Adamus. He's not trying to get the Ghost Knight. He would have got it though. I might have actually liked it a little bit more. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So Ghost Knight, the interesting thing is like it doesn't look that good because it's a lot of pierce damage, but I actually think that the Ghost Knight just isn't gonna die, so it might just be really good. Although the Pyro's coming out, so that would have been.
Oh yeah, it would have been a really good play with the Ghost Knight. Yeah. On top.
Yeah.
Against the. Against the 2 Bone Crushers.
Now, if you're Julian and Magic, do you king up here, right? You know you're getting a send. Don't you throw some into the king? Maybe their value. You think their value's high enough? They can hold.
At least Magic should do now. He's still having 55. Oh, no.
He just won another Bone Crusher on 9. Yeah.
Let's see. At least Julian is having the Violet and 2 additional Windhawks, so it might be okay for him. But I don't see any chance of Magic doing good here.
Yeah, I mean, when you have to add a Bone Crusher on 9, like you're probably just not happy with what's happening.
He was quite lucky with the Pyro though. It was on super low life for quite some time and getting away with a lot of damage.
Okay, good clear here by Julian. I don't know if they communicated to each other like, hey, one of us built for 8, for 9, but Julian did build for 9 on wave 8, which was a smart play.
And I have to admit, like both sends on 7 and this one on 9, they've both gone a whole other way than I predicted it. So I thought 2 times that it's gonna be massive leaks, but it was twice only small leaks and very good clears overall.
I actually think that's one thing that's hard when casting is that having an understanding, because you're not playing, having an understanding of like, hey, am I actually gonna clear, like how much am I gonna leak? Whereas when you're playing the game, I think good players have a good idea about like roughly how much they're gonna leak.
Yes.
But from the casting perspective, it's actually kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, and everything looks always way bigger or way more clear than it actually is for a player. Especially when picking like the last wave of a game, and you think like it's so easy, you're so far ahead, you can just skip the wave, and then you're making this bad sound because you think you're gonna die.
So Magic actually went to 16 workers, so he's just giving up on wave 10. I actually kind of like this play.
You have to do that.
I like this play. You just give up the boss, and then you're at 16 workers, and you know there's no off spell, so you basically get to sit on 16 workers for like 2 minutes.
Yes,
which is really good.
The only problem I have with exactly that play is that Magic is the only player that is not having a good unit for GA nor for the Titan.
That's true. You're right. He doesn't have a good options for that, and he sucks on wave 11.
Yes, so actually he had to be the one taking Venture in that team, so maybe just staying on the same worker amount he was before, which was I think 12.
It's just awkward with his builds. Yeah, he wants to take Venture because of his units, but at the same time he can't really clear 10, and he would have to stay solo workers to clear 10.
Yeah, I agree on that, which was quite a big leak. So he's losing a lot of gold
Oh, Magic, I think just rerolled for Boar at least. He can probably
so
tighten that.
He's having a really strong mid-late game AoE build right now with the Boar, the Pyrus, and the Aqua to buff all of that. And at the very end, he can have great single target damage with the Berserkers on 20 as well. So he's actually having a really nice role, really nice setup right now.
Yeah, so 2 Titans right now. A Titan on the Boar for Magic, and then Titan probably on like a Lioness or an Alpha Male here for Julian. Let's see what he does.
What? On the Wanderer, or is it a bug? On the or is it a bug for me? Like if you press tab, it's for me. It's probably a bug, right?
I think that's a bug. Wait.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah, I don't think he's actually used it. I think that's a tab bug. But we actually have a Ghost Knight here from Magic against Witterson. So we got to pay attention to that. Wait, why is there a Guardian Angel on a backline Infiltrator? On Witterson. Do you see that?
That has to be a mistake. He probably misclicked it.
He misclicked, right? Because
100%,
well, you should put on Lioness.
Yeah, 100%.
Or Alpha Male.
He had to misclick it. Like it happened to me as well that I was putting such a spell on a polywalk I wanted to sell.
Yeah, it happens.
You're not getting away with that, but it has to be a misclick.
So to critique Magic here, I actually think Ghost Knight's a pretty bad send. Obviously, you know, we can see that it didn't work, but just from a theory perspective, like you see a bunch of pierce damage, right? Alpha Male, Lioness, another Alpha, 2 Wargs, right? You see, and all the Pee-wees and stuff, especially if he's boosting them, those are all pierce damage. And then you have the Violet, which is spell damage, and you have the Infiltrators, which are spell damage if they're boosted. So, you know what I mean? Ghost Knight just doesn't seem right there.
And especially if he did the Ghost Knight to only get the income, probably a 4 would have been better to face the Alpha Males, which are the biggest tanks here. She's having Lioness and Violet on top. So I think if he wants the income, just go for the 4A instead and add some.
Yeah, 4A is better.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm agreeing.
And Witterson's answering our question. The GA was not on purpose, so on the Infiltrator.
It was not on purpose? Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
I just messed it up.
Yeah. It was not. It was a misclick. Yeah.
Now, Adamas and Witterson both 400 Mythium, not setting on 12. It's gonna be.
They're gonna go 13, right?
Actually, 14 is looking better. They're gonna do 14. The panic sense from Burnt as Bullet and Magic, or the panic king apps that are going to come next wave, and then it's maybe it's 13 with the value for Adamas. It kind of has to be okay. It has to be 13. I think Adamas is too far behind in value.
1600 value, yeah. I think they're terrified of a 13 cent. They have to go. Everyone has to go 13 here. Yeah, probably.
But obviously, Adamas and Witterson are highly favored with the amount of Mythium they're having.
Sure. Good prediction by Magic. You know, building the Berserker here, knowing that a 13 cent is coming. Okay, so Julian did put the Titan on the Lioness, which is pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely reasonable. One thing I personally don't like is putting the Violets that far to the middle as Julian does it right now. So for example, I would have swapped the Lioness and the Varg, and then probably swapped the Varg with the Sand Badger. So I would have had the Lioness, the Violets to the wall, and then just the tanks to the side, because like this, there's gonna be an Alpha Male, like not tanking.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to optimize the Lioness. He wants to get the Lioness 6 buffs without debuffing the Alpha Males. That's what he's trying to do. But yeah,
but what I meant is like you put the Alpha Male here and just swap the Violet here, and you have the Badger there, because the Badger is not debuffing nor buffing. So that might have been a play, but that's
the Badger will debuff if you have the the Alpha Male. But yeah.
So there's one thing I can give everybody who's not as high-low. So maybe some other high-low might not agree with that, but personally I never upgrade Badgers, because the gold per HP, the HP per gold is way better for the non-upgraded one, and you basically don't want it to deal any damage anyway. So that's why I've never upgraded Badger. That's why I didn't assume they would.
So we got income sense here plus king ups with a huge leak from Magic.
Oh, is this game once again? It's 12 units. One of them is a lizard. Another one is... Oh, no, it's not game yet. Right? Oh, it's emulation. Never mind.
I think it's actually game over.
I'm... Oh, I don't want to say it, but I think they're still living. Don't
Okay,
want
let's
to
see.
make a prediction, though. This
Yeah.
would be the 3-0, by the way.
Yeah. Definitely, I don't think people expected it. If
No,
it is
it's not
3-0.
game. It's not game. Never mind.
It's not game. You're right. The siege room is low, and
Yeah.
they do have some king ups.
All the units and
But-
the lizard on top.
It's gonna hurt.
And they didn't leak on the other side on top. Oh my god.
Yeah. And now we have huge worker lead, and now the return of the gold lead back into the East team's favor.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
200 gold difference, but you just see a huge worker lead on Adamus and Witterson.
Yeah, and that's not even enough because Adam is now at his strongest position with huge power on the kingpins. He's even having the Titan on the kingpin. There's another one to come very, very soon. And Adamus is the master of waves 15, 16, 17, 18, especially with having kingpin. So he knows exactly what he can hold and what not. And this is like the most critical time now for Julian and Magic to find the right spot to send.
The question is, can Adamus hold a wave 15 send here? He's got 2350 value on wave 14,
Yes.
so
The best
15's
part,
going to be kind of hard for him.
the best part about all this is that they all have to send 15 because afterwards Magic is really strong with Pyro's Boas. He's holding everything with decent value. And on 15 he's very likely to leak a boss.
Yeah, actually, I think there's a chance here that Adamus and Witterson could die 15, no? I mean, well, maybe...
Well, Witterson is
Witterson
really...
has the... Yeah, Witterson's good, so...
He's really good. Like, he's gonna have the
Oh, they're not
pieces
even
exactly
sending.
those.
Yeah, they're not even sending.
But, the haters on Damas. And nobody is sending, so I just miscalled it 100%. What the hell? Adamas would have leaked 100%. And Witterson is undervalued as well. I'm 100% sure they would have got leaks here.
Yeah, definitely Adamus would have leaked.
Just imagine, in that
And-
case, it might actually be best not to send a Shaman or something like that, but to make the classic Jules and go for like triple Cannoneer. The Assyria is dying
Right.
quite early, and then...
Yeah, and they're actually king upping here. They know that if they got a send here, that's actually pretty good for Julian and Magic, right? They can... Oh,
Yeah,
that's
but
not that many. It's not that much Mythians.
They
to
only
Mythic
did
king
the
ups.
attack damage to not die.
Yeah. Right.
I think it's a very good play they just did.
Yeah, it's a
And
good
look at the
play. It's just
Assyria.
in case they get a send.
Look
Yeah.
at the Assyria, it almost died, and if you add like even a lizard, it would have already been dead, and Witterson would have
Yeah.
not held. Adamus has no chance of holding a 300 and something cent himself, so it would have been the right play to go now, especially with Magic being basically unleakable on 16 with enough pyros.
Yeah. I wonder what would happen if they had full send here on 15.
Yeah, look at that, Adamus
How
is
much
almost
king
leaking
damage
with
they
that.
would have taken.
It's hard to say now, obviously,
Yeah.
but I actually think it would have been really close. It would have been really close to lethal.
Yeah.
And on 16, they won't do as good as they could on 15.
Wait. Magic is going red eyes here on 16.
Oh, that's so bad.
That
Oh,
that
no.
feels pretty wrong.
It is wrong. He could have done 2 pyros instead, which would have been the better play for sure. Oh, he does another pyro, but he's not going to hold like
Yeah,
this.
Still,
He's
this
not gonna
red
hold.
eyes is just gonna just
And
evaporate.
he has way too many aquas. I did not see when he placed the aquas, probably on 14, 15? Probably 15, but I don't like it. Yeah, it had to be 15 because of them reaching the back, so they're attacking the boss as well. But I think the full pyros would have been the way better play. But maybe we're wrong, and he's actually holding here. It's looking really good for him with
If
the
he
Berserker.
holds, he can go a lot of workers.
And Julian, he's not doing too good, but it looks at least like Magic is
good
holding.
clear. It's a
15,
clear from Magic.
15
Really
years,
good
they're
draw
not
from
dead.
him.
They're not dead. They're not dead on
They can slam workers now, right?
on the other side, Adamus is leaking. Witterson holding
Yeah.
though. Julian is out of the game though. Julian is not going to return at all. He does not have the tanks for the Trinity Archers. I think Trinity Archers are his best way to put out some damage, but therefore he has to full go for tanks now to protect the Trinities. It's hard though. It's really, really hard to come back now.
I think the game here ends on 18, right?
Yes,
Everyone
it will.
sends 18, it ends. And the problem
Um,
is that Magic sucks on 8. Well, he doesn't suck. Oh, he's gonna add the Fatalizers, and he's got Pyros. He can
okay,
maybe.
it has to be Julian pushing really, really hard actually, because he's undervalued and he's not perfect on 18. I think if he's pushing hard and Magic going full Pyro to clear his wave, it might be GG. Because Widdowson is having decent units, but it's not likely that he's holding, and Adams is not holding as well. So it
Yeah,
might
so
be that
the
way.
interesting thing is that the goals here is actually very even. Like I
Yeah.
often look at the worker counts and I'm like, okay, well, Adamas and Witterson are just way ahead. They have way more workers, but I mean, Witterson's like, there's 300 extra value on Magic. So Magic is gonna, if there's a race, then actually the West team wins because Magic can clear.
Yeah, exactly. Magic is gonna clear 100%.
Yeah.
The thing is, this is gonna be the last wave he's gonna clear that easy, because 19 is not gonna be a send after that 18 cent, and then it's
Yeah,
gonna be
20 is gonna be hard for him.
So they kind of had to.
Although I
win
think 20
before.
is kind of really weak. So
But with that many Pyros, Aquas, and all
yeah,
that
not
stuff.
against that build. Yeah.
So he's having the luck that he's gonna snipe any backline very, very soon with all the Aquas. So that's not a problem for him.
I think the good thing is, and part of this is luck, but part of this is also skill. Is that when you build for the waves that you know they have to send on, right? And if the game works out that way, and Magic's build happens to be quite good against waves that, that they're sending on. So he had the Pyros and the Aquas and the Fire Elementals for 16, and then now he has the Pyros for 18.
Yes, I agree with that. Absolutely.
I'm kind of surprised he didn't maybe add like another phase going for full Pyros, which maybe is just the right play. But
yeah, it is, because with that he will clear. With the Fatalizer he might not clear, but he's just gonna sacrifice 20 for that.
I was just worried that maybe that the Red Eyes dies super fast and then the Pyros start to die. But
the more Pyros the better. It's just gonna be enough. Wave 18 is not having that much HP. Compared to its attack damage.
That's true. The Pyros are just absolutely melting the wave. So
yeah, exactly. There's no chance. And the Red Eye with the Titan on top, the Fatalizer and all that, he's just
called by him.
It was the right play, but I think they already lost the game on 15 where they were not sending, but they could have won. And now the thing is, Magic. Oh no, Magic can't even full push to go for this, because Julian is not able to hold on 20, even though he's having really good setup with the Trinity Archers and the Badgers.
We're gonna have leaks here on both on both members of the East team, but it's not anything near lethal. So
yes, Banana Square is not able to do it. It is hard.
But this does make things interesting. Yeah,
absolutely. But it's hard to hold at the middle, at the spawn area. No, it's not the spawn area, at the holding area, because Pyros are just splitting up so far.
Yeah, they're spread out. Here.
Exactly. He's not able to hold too good, so they're getting some more damage as well. And now it is all about Magic spamming the Berserkers. I think it is actually better for him to spam like Berserkers behind like 2 or 3 Fatalizers. I would go for like 3 Fatalizers and the rest Berserkers, so the Fatalizer tank and the Berserker just ramping up, because they ramp up a little bit faster. So that would be the play for him.
It's worth calling out that the West team's still up in gold. They're up 400 gold.
Yes, they're really far behind in King HP.
I guess they're not. Yeah, in King HP, yeah. But and workers, let's see, we've got 73 against. Okay, no, so actually, Magic pushed a lot. He's at 46 workers
as well. Yes.
Yeah.
The only problem is that both of Banana Boys, Adams and Widdowson, they're having the Hades. So they're not synergizing that good again anymore with tier 1s. But they're still very strong, especially in delaying the game.
Yep. And Witterson went spell here. I guess maybe they were afraid of a 19 resend. I'm not sure.
I think it's okay, because they're looking a little bit better and they know. Oh no, never mind. Widdowson should have not done it. Adamas should have done it, because Adamas is gonna send against Magic, who is very likely to leak anyway. to a way smaller send. So I
Right.
would criticize that play, to be honest.
Well, I'm pretty excited about this wave 20 because
Yes, I want to see the
everyone
builds
is
and the
sending.
values now.
Yeah.
Because the values are actually quite high, especially on Julian, gonna be around 6.6, right? Oh no, even higher. I messed something up. And if he's going some Badgers, why is he not doing Badgers? He needs the tanks.
Yeah, he does. He needs Badger,
Like,
right?
especially that one, the small one, the Elite Archer, he should trade that for a Badger, maybe together
Yeah,
with the...
I agree.
with
He
the
absolutely
Hawk.
needs. He actually would benefit a lot
And
from
Magic
tanks, but
not going for Berserkers. He's just spamming the Boas. So he wants to
yeah,
rely on that
he
one
just kill, he just wants to
Fatalizer.
kill the back line, right? With his fire
And he
elementals
did...
plus
Oh,
Boar
and
Splash.
no! Oh, he could just do a Dark Mage for the Fatalizer as well. Oh, shit. He didn't see it. He probably didn't
Yeah, that
see
would
it.
be
That would have been a play. I really would have liked him to go more Berserkers.
960 send from Magic against Witterson. Woo.
Alright, the tank is down for Bundas Broad. He's doing good. Hades on Adamas, they are
Ooh.
working. And look at that, yeah, the 4A is getting sniped. This is so intense.
Really good. Yeah, really sniping the forest and the shaman.
Okay, the Berserker's now finally down for Magic. He's not gonna hold the wave as we predicted. Julian
No, I don't
is not
think
gonna hold
anyone's
as
holding,
well.
right?
Yeah, but they're losing. It's the 3-0. They're just delaying too much. Magic not able to hold here. Julian way more
Yeah, Adamas is
away from
clearing.
holds.
Is leaking slowest.
That's game. And it's a
GG.
3-0 by Banana Boys. Wow. I did not think they're gonna win that clear.
Yeah, well, actually, man, if Adamas didn't snipe those sends, I actually think that Julian and Magic won there because Adamas would have leaked faster.
Yeah, probably. But I still have to criticize the 15 cent. I think 15 cent was still the one that would have won them the game.
Yeah. 15 cent, yeah, that, I mean, it's hard to know, right? Like, they just pushed so many workers from 13 to 14, right? 15 would have worked well, but I guess if you go 15 and you don't actually get them, it's really risky. So
Absolutely. It was a stunning performance, but a really clean 3-0. They did not show a lot of mistakes at all in all of the games we've seen.